What is up, crypto hackers? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack all of our finance education. If you guys are brand new here, be sure to be subscribed with notifications on for my next video. Now, in this episode, I've talked about Dogecoin 100 times on this channel or more. I love Dogecoin and just the idea of a huge grassroots movement, just the incredible story behind Dogecoin. If you haven't heard the stories before, check all the videos out on my channel previously. In this video, I'm going to be going over the fact that Dogecoin is now part of a publicly traded company. House of Doge is the corporate arm of the Dogecoin Foundation, and it's going public. That's right, on the Nasdaq. It'll trade through a reverse takeover of Bragg House Holdings, or TBH is the ticker. So super cool to see this sort of kind of financial engineering move, because this is a big move. The TBH stock jumped over 40% in the last 2 weeks. And what's important to know, who's backing this company, the House of Doge, is Alex Spiro. And if you have not heard of that name before, that's Elon Musk's personal attorney. And digging down the rabbit hole a little deeper here, Elon Musk has said for many years now that Dogecoin is kind of going to be the ironic currency. And he's talked about it so many times, and that fate loves irony. And there's just so many funny things pointing to Dogecoin and the fact that it is just starting to get used and adopted. So this is a big move as a universal payment method. And the idea that it's being publicly traded and in the public eye is really important for Dogecoin and adoption. CEO Marco, he is saying that them going public is going to give them the capital they need to scale Dogecoin payment rails worldwide. So this is like kind of the first step initially. And there's a ton of things that have happened in the past, but this one going public and all of these incredible backers that I'm going to talk about in a minute. So now we're going to talk a little bit about how this has been constructed by House of Doge. I think this stuff is really interesting, and I've done a bunch of research on this. So House of Doge launched earlier this year in 2025, and they partnered with a company called Clean Core, $170 million Dogecoin treasury. It's trading on the New York Stock Exchange. So Clean Core is a partner of the House of Doge, and that is trading on the New York Stock Exchange, to just reiterate in a simple way of saying that. They filed for a spot ETF of Dogecoin with 21 shares, which is a very well-respected financial institution that's really helped with a lot of these ETFs. And they're also working with Robinhood and 21 shares on Dogecoin yield products and new types of investment options. It's super cool to kind of see how they're working on that. So all of these pieces, this scaffolding, is building the Dogecoin empire, which I love the idea of. And the overarching mission here of House of Doge is to bring Dogecoin into the mainstream finance and everyday commerce. And the company being backed by Alex Spiro, Elon Musk's personal attorney, there's a lot to read between the lines here, guys. And I think that it's really cool to kind of see all of this come together and the scaffolding really be put on Dogecoin through, the corporate arm of the Dogecoin Foundation and these partnerships with things like Clean Core. And there's just a lot of movement happening on a project that a lot of people just assume was dormant for a long time. But in reality, it's on every major liquid exchange out there, and it trades and people use it. I want to talk about some of these backers because this is nuts. The former Texas governor, Rick Perry, is backing this. The Steinbrenner family, that is the owners of the New York Yankees, they're backing this. Bunch of NHL stars. So you might be asking, why are there all these sports associated influencers and all of these people getting involved in Dogecoin? And that's a valid question. So the reverse takeover that the corporate arm or House of Doge is doing with the Bragg House Holdings, the ticker that I mentioned, TBH, it's a leading media technology gaming platform dedicated to transforming casual college gaming into vibrant community-driven experiences. The idea here is that Dogecoin is to get involved with sport culture. It's fan culture, and sports are very similar to kind of like a grassroots approach that Dogecoin has had, that a lot of meme coins have, where it just takes the community to really make something huge and just have this kind of fandom behind it, which Dogecoin has incredible levels of fandom that you don't see very much at all anymore. And it stays consistent. Like, people run back to Doge every single cycle. I've seen it many, many times. So the idea of crossing over kind of the fandom of Dogecoin and these sport cultures with this reverse takeover is really cool. And a while ago, there was conversations, I remember, with Mark Cuban on Twitter, and he had talked about how he was going to be accepting Dogecoin at the Mavericks games, which I'm not sure exactly if that ever played out. I think it did, but the idea was that you could create more utility for a meme coin by having merchants accept it. On top of that, announcing strategic partnerships with In-Kind, that's an app that allows for Dogecoin to basically be accepted by almost 5,000 US restaurants, bars, and cafes. So In-Kind is a wallet that effectively has over 3.5 million users as of this week. That is super cool to see that they're going to be allowing people to go around and purchase things using Dogecoin. And the idea, again, is to have adoption take place for Dogecoin and have it be a public company attached. Last piece I want to talk about here is what was registered with the SEC and their prospectus. I think that there's some cool information here that a lot of people probably aren't going to dig into. So it's my job to dig into it. And I love reading this stuff. So this is a long-winded way of they're trying to get to Gen Z and the sports culture. So the boiled down message here is that House of Doge and the merging partner that is Braghouse Holdings, or TBH on Nasdaq, that is the first move here. That's the big move that moves the corporate arm of Dogecoin into public company. You have public ability for people to get involved. And then at the same time, through that merger, and then at the same time, you have the partnership with In-Kind, allowing people to use that asset, which is Dogecoin, as cryptocurrency to be accepted around all these different restaurants. So Johan, the CEO of In-Kind, said, "We're thrilled to accept Dogecoin as an official payment option. Our mission has always been to provide flexible, rewarding ways for guests to engage with restaurants that they love. We believe integrating Dogecoin is not only a nod to the cultural impact of crypto, but also a powerful way to attract a new generation of digital-first diners." So once again, it's going back to really Gen Z. Can you go out to a restaurant, use this app to purchase using Dogecoin? Gen Z would love that. I would love that. I think it's a fun concept. And also, it's a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. You can become the first cryptocurrency accepted by In-Kind all across the US. You're looking at a $1.5 trillion spending category. It's just a huge opportunity if you can really crack into it. Disclaimer, I did reach out to the company, so this is technically a sponsored review, but I was really interested to hear about this news. It just broke about the whole reverse takeover, and I really wanted to cover it on the channel. That is it for my overview here of the House of Doge announcement. Super bullish, and I always love covering Dogecoin. I always have. I've been talking about it for over 10 years, and I just enjoy watching a lot of this happen because, as Elon Musk has said many times, fate loves irony, and just the sort of that sometimes the most funny thing can become reality. And the Dogecoin movement and all of the kind of financial building around it and the empire that it has become with all of these really brilliant people backing it and pushing it forward, it could come true. It could be a reality. And there's always a risk associated with it. Do your own research. All the links will be in the description below, but definitely check it out. Learn some more about this. I think it's super interesting and fun. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you here on the next episode of Hack Crypto.